right, YouTube Live. I think we're on. Let me double check here. Let's see. Where is my keyboard? How you doing, guys? Having a good evening so far? All right. Let's see if the audio works. I want to test the audio first. Keyboard. All right. Good. How you doing, guys? All right. So the audio works. Fantastic. And now I'm just gonna tell on social media. Hey all. This is Rama. I'm currently live streaming right now on YouTube. Check. So, now and chime in at youtube.com/ramascreen1. Okay. Sorry that takes a while. Well, I want to make sure everybody knows that we are live streaming right now. And want to invite everybody on the social media to join in on the topic, the discussion. All right, guys. First of all, thank you for joining in, for tuning in. It has been quite the busy Sunday. There was so much going on today. Holy smokes. The championship games, you know, unfortunately Patriot won. And I think the Eagles won against Vikings. I haven't checked the last score, the final score. So that took up much of my afternoon. And of course, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, that's them. I think might still be happening right now as we speak. But of course, I had to watch Star Trek Discovery, cause gotta you know, I'm a big fan of the show. Gotta geek out for it. Screen Actors Guild Award. I will post the award. I mean the winners list, the list of the winners this evening at ramascreen.com later on, so you can check it out there. All right. So heads up, this video, as always, like every Sunday, contains spoilers. All my video thoughts about Star Trek Discovery contain spoilers, so make sure you watch the video first. I mean the episode first, and then you can join me if you'd like on this live streaming. Okay, so the episode is titled, let's see here, Vaulting Ambition. Vaulting Ambition. Man, this Star Trek Discovery has some of the most ambiguous titles for its episodes, you know, compared to the other Star Trek series that we've seen in the past. Star Trek Discovery always goes for the deep thinking, and like I think there was one episode right last fall that had a title in Latin language. I was like, Latin language, okay, that's interesting. So what's happened tonight on tonight's episode? So quick recap. Michael Burnham found out that the Emperor, you know, the ruler of the Terran Empire, which is ruling this parallel universe, because Michael's universe is under the rules of the Federation. Whereas this parallel universe is under the autocratic leadership of this Emperor, and she found out that the Emperor is none other than Philippa Georgia, which is awesome because we got to see Michelle Yeoh back again in her role, except parallel universe version of it. And man, she is so good at playing this villain. Holy smokes. So Michael transported Lorca, because Lorca in this universe, in this parallel universe, is supposed to be a fugitive, a bad guy. And let's see here. Okay, my friend said she hasn't watched it yet. So let's see here. What's my? And so she was transporting Lorca to the Emperor. And remember, up to this point, Michael was still playing a part. Michael was still playing a role and she was hoping that the Emperor would not kind of, discover that she was just playing a role, that she's not the Michael from this parallel universe. And the same thing with Lorca, Jason Isaac. They're playing what their part is supposed to be in this Terran universe. Of course, the Emperor is not stupid. Michelle Yeoh is smart as hell. Well, I'm using the actress name. I'm talking about Philippa Georgia. There you go. She's smart as hell. So the Philippa Georgia in Michael's universe is smart. Philippa Georgia in this one is smart as well. And she figured out that, well, she did not figure out that Michael was from another universe, but she figured out that Michael was hiding something. And what I love about how the writers wrote this character, the Emperor, is that this Emperor pretty much displayed your typical dictator symptoms. You know, the symptoms that you would see in a dictator or a fascist. And that includes paranoia. Paranoia that, oh my God, somebody might assassinate me. Oh, somebody might, steal my power, steal my kingdom. By the way, side note, I tweeted that the Emperor's palace kind of looks like China's The Forbidden Kingdom floating in space. I don't know if the designer of that ship designed it that way to kind of give some kind of a tribute to Michelle Yeoh being Asian and all. But I thought that was an interesting look for a spaceship. So anyway, the dictator, the Emperor displays your typical dictator symptoms. Like you've seen it in many eras of history. Saddam Hussein had doubles, right? He had doubles playing him because if he gets assassinated, it's not him that gets assassinated, it's his double. It's his double walking around out there, kind of like that. And dictators would sometimes dictators would kill their family members or their nephews because they fear that their family members would try to steal their authority, would steal their power, or would kill them to get to sit in the throne. So I like that the Emperor displays, Emperor Philippa Georgia displays such symptoms, because that's what dictator is. And so, real quick, Michael revealed that she's from another universe, and bam, Philippa Georgia kills her closest compadres. I want to say compadres. I'm not sure what they're called. And she strikes a deal with Michael, and that deal is the Emperor wants to see this so-called spore drive, that jumped the Star Trek Discovery to her universe, the Terran universe. She's very, very curious about it, and so in exchange, that she would grant Michael her freedom. So that's one plot. The other plot, of course, still deals with Stamets, and this time he's stuck in the network. And I love this part of the episode tonight because it's sort of like a dream sequence. And it's always fun that way because in a dream sequence, anything can happen. Anybody can show up. And in this case, Dr. Hugh Culber, Stamets' lover, who unfortunately got killed by Tyler, or got murdered by Tyler, he shows up. And it was just... Stamets and Culber's part in this episode was just so romantic, but not in a cheesy sense, The way they confront the fact that Culber is now dead is just... I don't know what the word I'm looking for to describe it, but they're not dwelling in that way too much. Even Culber is like, hey, Stamets, I know I'm dead. It sucks that I'm dead, but the mission has to go on. Come on, let's get right to it. you need to save the network in order to save the ship. All right. So it's like, if you build it, they will come. You got to do this. This is your mission now. This is your priority. Snap out of it. You can grieve. You can grieve about me. You can mourn me later. So that's how they deal with the loss of Kolber amongst those two, and it just got me right here, man. It just got me right here. No right words can describe it though. So that's one plot. The other plot, okay, there's so many things going on in this episode, is of course involving Tyler. Tyler is, as you know, if you watch the show, okay. So how do you describe it? Okay, so basically, the Klingons grafted Voke's. Voke is one of the Klingons. Grafted Voke's psyche. Yeah, I think that's the only way to describe it. I think the episode describes it that way. They grafted Voke's psyche, Voke's consciousness into Tyler. So yes, from the outside appearance, he looks like Tyler, but on the inside and his mind, it's pretty much Voke. So I love this part because you see Saru confronting the Klingon that they imprisoned and basically saying, hey, you gotta help us out. The doctors can't figure him out. The doctors have never dealt with such an phenomenon. And the Klingon is like, no, this is Voke's decision, and I'm glad that Voke has awakened. There's no way you can, there's no way to reverse it. And then the Vulcan says, like, this is war. This is what you get. We have infiltrated you. And then a few minutes later, Saru came back and pretty much energized Tyler into the cell where the Klingon's in, because Saru knows that Klingon, that female Klingon, does have some sort of sympathy towards Tyler. I'm still kind of vague about that part. I know we've seen flashbacks of them having sex, Tyler and this Klingon, but it may just be just a vision, hallucination. Who knows? But anyway, she has, even though she is like, oh, this is war and this is what you get, deep down, she kind of cares for Tyler, and so Saru was using that against her, and it worked. And Saru said, "This is war." Oh, he said something with "that is war," not "this is war." That is war, because he retaliated, and it worked effectively. I tweeted like, "Damn, Saru is a badass tonight. He's a total badass." So what you need to know is that the choice is, in order to get home, right? The Discovery ship would have to either find the coordinates where the USS Defiant crossed over, because USS Defiant was another ship that in the past had crossed over from Michael's universe into the Terran's universe. So they want to find this, coordinates. They want to find where this wormhole is located, if you will. Either that, or they have to use again the spore drive, and that, of course, relies heavily on Stamets. And by the end of the episode tonight, clearly that part is not yet solved, because Stamets encounters that this problem that's affecting the network has been pretty much spreading all over the ship. And that is going to be interesting to see how he would fix that. So definitely stay tuned for that next week's episode. I have a few notes here before I end this discussion. And I think probably this is the best Star Trek Discovery episode yet. I know that a lot of people out there hates this series. I'm not. I mean, I don't. I'm one of the ones that actually liked it. And so if you like the show, I think you would agree with me that this is probably their best episode yet, and it's kind of cool how the writing team, kind of set up the whole arc this way in order to lead to this point, this revelation about Lorca. And it was smart. It was smart because there were previous episodes that kind of led us to believe, hey, you know what, Lorca could be a good guy. I mean, just like any other captain, he would do some shady stuff just to get the job done. But what other captains don't do that? Every captain does that. But man, turns out even in the previous episodes, when it seems like he was the good guy, he was the bad guy all along. That was just so that twist was like boop. Unless there was maybe a moment in time during the Spore Drive jump, that Lorca from the Terran universe and Lorca from Michael's universe switch places. But right now, it seems that he has been the Terran universe Lorca the entire time. And that was just like, I don't know, man. I thought that was like, wow. I like that. I like that twist. The Lorca from Michael's universe actually has been the Lorca from Terran universe the entire time. That is a great twist. That makes things even more complex. Now you wonder what happened to the Federation's Lorca. You wonder how the Discovery ship will now get back home without the leadership of Lorca. And you know what? It seems that a lot is riding on Michael. I feel like when I was watching the episode tonight, the pressure was so much on her, man. Kudos to Michael Burnham for pretty much being very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Being very astute, being very calm, being very captain-like throughout the whole thing. How she plans it out, how she keeps communication with Saru throughout the whole thing, how she deals with Tyler. She is becoming more and more like a good captain. Maybe once they get back home, the Federation will reward Michael with the leadership of Discovery. Who knows? That's just my guess. And if that is what happens, that would be pretty awesome. I hope that is the case. But Michael is definitely displaying all the right symptoms of a good captain. Man, so what did you think of tonight's episode? Holy crap. I think anybody, there's a part of me, of course, as I mentioned to you in the previous videos, that kind of wished the show had been procedural or relational like the other Star Trek series in the past. But now that we've gone to this twist that raises more question and theories and, oh my God, what's going to happen to them? And it's becoming even more of a cliffhanger. I really like this format. I think the part of me that wished the show was procedural, it's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer with each episode of Star Trek Discovery. It's like reading a sci-fi thriller now. It's like, every episode ends with a cliffhanger and you want to turn the page. You want to turn the page and to see what happens in the next chapter. So I really do like this format. Again, I stand by my assessment from previous video that I hope this could get resolved within the next few episodes. I really want them to get back home and get back to the war with the Klingons again. But we'll see how this whole thing, what plays out in the parallel universe, how it affects how it affects or may not affect the war with the Klingon in Michael's universe. So yeah. Oh, one last note here before I end. I think it's cool that, in the interaction between Michael Burnham and the Emperor, um, Emperor Philip of Georgia, this discussion that they had back and forth. Once after Michael revealed that she was from the parallel universe, and Michael used Philippa Georgia that she knew as a way to get in, or as a way to appeal to the Emperor Philippa Georgia's side, Emperor Philippa Georgia's good side, I should say. I'm sorry, because she kept saying like, well, Philippa Georgia that I know, would do this or would be like this. So I trust that the Philippa Georgia that I'm standing in front of or standing across, or the one that I'm facing, will be like that too. Will do that as well. And even the Emperor herself, Emperor Georgia, said, because Michael's like, how do I know that you're gonna keep your end of the bargain, that you won't betray this deal? Because they strike a deal, remember? And the Emperor says something along the line of, well, how trustworthy is the Philippa Georgia on your universe? And then, that's how I should be as well, or that's how you should expect me as well. And so that, I think that's interesting because, we always have this, in science fiction, the concept of parallel universe. If I go to Earth 12 or Earth 13, I might be a janitor in Earth 12, but I might be a politician in Earth 13. But the characteristics, the personalities, the traits, how I approach certain things, or how I, do decision making, using my judgment, it may be the same in Earth 12 and in Earth 13. It may be the same on Earth 14. You know what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm getting at? So that expectation that, okay, I may be a villain on Earth 20, for example, but there are some things that you could still hope that some traits will be shared amongst versions of me in these parallel universes. I hope I'm explaining myself correctly. I apologize if I didn't. And that was interesting. I think that was the approach that tonight's episode was giving us, and it got me like, huh. Which is why when the Emperor Philippa Georgia described Lorca, she was describing Lorca as she knew him. And so you kind of wonder, what if Michael's universe's Lorca is not far different? And of course, on top of that is the question, what happened to Michael's universe's Lorca, or the Federation's Lorca? So anyway, that's my last note. I thought that was an interesting psychological kind of dissection of the characters that the episode tonight offered. What did you think? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for tuning in to this very long live stream. Sorry if I kept rambling on. Share your thoughts in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. And as always, if you can support my channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. There's all kinds of rewards for all kinds of levels there. Again, thank you, and let's rock this.